So, I want to welcome our guest today, Cory Carmichael. Welcome to the show, Cory.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
Cory is the branch manager out at Centerra.
Yes, sir.
And he came on the scene last year. We weren't able to just kind of find a slot to get it in there. I needed him to get his feet on the ground a little bit. And he came in right at the busy time. I mean, I don't know if there's any right time to take a new job, but typically it would be when the season's kind of down, particularly when you're dealing with the products that you're dealing with out there. So you had to jump in there and get right going. So give us a little background of where Cory comes from and his ag background.
So I grew up in Dalton, Ohio. Played sports growing up, this and that. But, growing up, I always, for some odd reason, I wanted to be a dairy farmer growing up. That, my mom will even say that was all I really truly wanted to
do. Did you have a dairy farm?
My mom actually grew up on a dairy farm in Springfield, Ohio.
Oh, all right.
So, and my uncle actually ended up taking the farm to Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so there's that side of things. And, I always wanted to be a dairy farmer, and, if you don't inherit one, you're basically not going to end up being a dairy farmer.
You're following my story to get right to the letter.
Yeah. So, just kind of, I worked for a petroleum company in Worcester for a while, almost 10 years, and then just kind of decided that wasn't the industry we wanted to be in. And I'm blessed to have a decent brother-in-law that worked for Centerra for a while, and now he does crop insurance. And so he kind of pointed me back into the ag world. And so I think it was about early March last year, I took a job at Smithville, mixing liquid fertilizer. So that's I did that for a few months, and then I was blessed to have an opportunity to come to Loudonville to run the branch.
Yeah. So how's it been?
It's so I started in August, and kind of had a little downtime and to get my feet on the ground, at least, as you'd say. And then we jumped right into harvest time. And with all that being said, we went right into figuring out vomitoxin issues and this and that. So, but we got through harvest and had a very good harvest, I think. So, I was actually happy that I went through harvest first instead of planting season.
Yeah.
Because it gave me an opportunity to meet most of our growers and meet them in a setting where, everybody wasn't as pushed.
Yeah, right.
As in the springtime.
You're almost at a panic mode in the spring if we can lay things out to the letter. We got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this, and then it rains. Or it's too cold, or, the bugs start coming and this, that, and the other thing. But when's the harvest, there it sits.
Yeah.
And it can wait a day or two.
If we need to.
Yes. So it was a good adjustment there.
Yep. Got to meet a lot of people, a lot of the growers in the area, find out some of their concerns and this and that. So, we were able to talk with them and start working on those issues.
But you're still making the commute to Dalton.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So.
But in any event, that being said, and you said we had a pretty good year from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
You're not really so much involved in the pricing part of thing. I mean, they are what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. It is what it is. And
do you guys buy grain? Do farmers contract with Centerra to sell grain through them?
Yeah, our marketing department
which you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Okay.
My marketing department just kind of says, "Here it is, Cory," and here
we're sending it down there. You store it.
Yep, and you got it and take care of it. So
yeah. How many bushels storage do you have there?
We're right around 350,000.
Yeah.
So
are you full?
Nope, not anymore. We actually we've gotten one of our grain bins empty already.
Really?
So
Okay, so now what happens if they sell it to Centerra? You're not going to sit on it there. I mean, you guys aren't processing it into feed.
So we do at our Sterling location.
Okay.
Okay. So we have a mill up there, and that's kind of our feeds operation and where that's at.
All right.
But a lot of it, we're moving to different elevators and this and that, because what we've found is we've had very good vomitoxin levels for what everything's coming in. So, the grain that we have in our bins is very valuable due to our low vomitoxin, rates.
Okay. So it's bringing top dollar, in other words. Okay, for those that are listening, vomitoxins are mold-based type that gets on the crop. And
Yes.
it can be corn, it can be wheat is particularly a bad one. And it happens because of weather conditions for the most part. There is like zero tolerance for that in the human food chain. So grains that we we don't feed wheat as an animal feed as much as we feed corn and soybean byproducts. So you get vomitoxins. You are really at a problem.
Absolutely.
And once we commingle it, we got clean truckloads sitting right here, and now we got a contaminated one, and it's going to contaminate that new grain that's coming in there.
Oh, absolutely.
And we can't get it off necessarily by processing it or drying it, right?
Drying it, getting it dry, and then getting it cooled very quickly. We've kind of found through some research, I was sitting in a class the other day, and they said that the quicker we can get stuff dried down and get it cooled, we have a better chance of it, dying off and actually being able to be blended back in the grain bins.
Are farmers aware of this situation who store grain on their own farm to make sure they get it dried down and handled properly?
A lot of them are now, because we're kind of 3 years into it really being an issue, and it only takes one load to get rejected at the elevator before you're like, oh,
yeah, exactly.
Oops.
So
I think the farmers are getting more educated and being able to kind of look for it. We test every load that goes out, so we have a good idea, and then we're testing every load that's coming in too. So as we're going into our grain bins, I have an idea of what's in each grain bin.
Yeah. And we're fortunate that this is like a rapid test. I mean, we do it and it's done.
Yeah, I mean
we don't have to send it away like a soil test.
No, there's some of the growers that are like, well, do we have to wait for this as they're bringing grain in?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I kind of need to know so I can segregate it amongst my bins depending on how high it actually is.
Yeah.
So
once a bin's contaminated, can we clean it? I mean, now we empty it out.
Yeah.
And we can keep it clean. So it's not going to be a...
Yeah, we can... That does work.
Okay. All right. So what do we do with grain that's contaminated? I can't take it out and spread it back out on the field or it'll grow.
No, to be honest with you, I leave those kind of decisions up to our marketing side of things.
Good job.
And let them make that decision.
But it is a problem.
Yes.
And I can remember the feed company that I worked for back on the East Coast, they also had a flour mill, and it was a serious problem. I mean, that was a separate part of the family business in another town. And there's just not much you can do, particularly in the wheat.
Yeah, in this area particularly, we're not, year in, year out, we haven't had the vomitoxin issues down here. And I think that kind of goes back to our soil type that we have here.
Oh, really?
Where we're more of a dry soil.
Oh, okay.
So it's not as readily able to grow.
Okay.
So.
Well, I know we heard about it, me having the experience, I'm always thinking about it, particularly just about the time we're ready to harvest that we get wet weather, and not only can we get vomitoxins, dang stuff sprouts right in the stalk, and of course we can get that in corn as well. But are there more resistant varieties? Are we able to do something that way?
We haven't noticed any, differences in the varieties of, when we do see an issue with the vomitoxin, we're not seeing a consistency across the varieties. At the end of the day, you hear some people say that, well, it's because with the new hybrid selections, it's when that ear's standing up, it's catching the rain coming in, and when it's standing out. Whereas when you get the droopy ear and it goes down, it's having a chance for that moisture to drain off of it.
Exactly.
But we're not seeing anything truly consistent enough to make an assumption there.
All right. Okay. So, were there any other diseases that we had to worry about? In soybeans, I hear about the soybean nematode. Is that a problem?
No, we didn't see a whole lot of issues there.
Okay. Cyst nematode. I'm thinking of everything goes by initials. So we got SCN.
Okay, so we have one of the other things that we did have this fall that's starting to affect more towards our overseas market is soybeans of a different color.
Color?
So, yeah. So actually you're getting more so you'll be bringing soybeans in, and I'll be grading them out, and you'll get a purple or black soybean. So this doesn't affect the U.S. markets as much.
Yeah.
But it does affect how we can market them overseas.
Really? Mm-hmm. What causes that different color? Because we can mark corn, for example, corn that is really not designed to be in the food chain, might be more in the ethanol chain, that would have some purple kernels in there. And that's not a problem if a guy's chopping the corn silage. So those varieties aren't a problem. But and I saw it, and I thought, where do you get all these purple kernels in this corn? And then he told me what it was. It was actually ethanol corn. Okay, so do we know where this?
We haven't been able to pinpoint it consistently.
Is that right?
Yep. So,
but the foreign buggers, they'll look for anything, and now we're talking about a boatload of soybeans, which is a big boat.
Yeah.
That's going to be going out of there, and they don't want one black bean.
Yeah. So.
Wow. I hadn't heard that one.
Yep. So that's the latest and greatest in the soybean.
Which brings me now, I'm talking about seeds here. You've got that nice row of shiny bins there. Mm-hmm. Is that all seed? Because we are selling probably more seed in bulk.
Yes, we are doing a lot of that. So those are all of our bulk seed bins.
Yeah.
Along the road there.
Yeah.
And that's all Pioneer
seed.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, is that your number one seed company that you are selling?
Yep,
seed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So,
but other seed companies might be offering that same service, because I see semi coming down the road with bulk totes, if you want to call them that.
At our other branches, say Smithville, for instance, they'll have Vermont and they'll have Cropland, bulk soybean seeds, so they can treat them on site.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so what's in the different variety in each bin, obviously?
So that's going to be different. So it's going to be your different seed sizes.
Okay.
And go from there.
Do you treat it now? Is it being treated then? It's not treated. It's
going out.
It's going out.
Yep. Eric Borton handles all of our seed stuff, our agronomist down here in Loudonville. And he does a fantastic job with that. And he'll hammer through all those bins and
How often do you get more seed in there?
So we're in the process of filling those bins currently.
Okay.
So, just kind of, I think there's another delivery coming in next week.
Okay.
So to get a bin full, and they'll bring in one complete bin at a time. So, you'll see 3 or 4 trucks come in.
So once we empty that bin out, we could put a different variety in there next.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we're kind of picking all through those different bins. So we won't get any of them empty until it's almost time to recollect the extras and send them back off. So
what do we do with the extras?
We
send them to South America?
Nope, we send them back to the elevator, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So they get processed because they're untreated beans.
Exactly.
So we can send them back to the elevator as, just regular soybeans, just like any grower would be taking his truck in.
I never really thought about that because once we've treated it, it takes it out of the food chain pretty quick.
Absolutely.
So if we can avoid that, and obviously it takes longer to bag seed, and that has to be treated before it's put in the bag. Mm-hmm. There used to be seed hoppers on the back of our old-fashioned corn planters, and we could do some treatments, particularly if it was insecticide-type treatment that was on the back, but it was already treated otherwise. And the seeds, though, that have been modified to some degree, that's not a problem in the food chain.
No, I mean... No,
because we're talking about 2 food chains.
Yeah.
When we get right down to it.
Yeah.
Food seed or grain that's going to go into the food chain is handled a whole bit different than if it's going to go into the animal industry, and can be processed and ground up and be fed that way. So it doesn't even. It isn't even in the same community. I mean, that is an entirely different industry altogether. Those, particularly when you're talking about tacos and all that kind of stuff, and different colored tacos get different colored corn to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely.
So those are contracted by the taco people, and they've got growers that are growing corn for them.
Yeah,
It's not even in the same. Leftover seed there could wind up going into the food chain some way or another, but who cares?
Yeah, it's going to be minimal enough that it's not going to make
no big deal.
Yep.
But when it comes to the animal industry, and that's what, for the most part, we are dealing with. Okay, so we got a railroad siding there, but you don't really move any grain out on the railroad
We
cars?
don't move any on the
because you're
rail.
using it within your own Centerra system.
All of our grain is basically being trucked out.
Yeah.
So we use our rail spur to bring in fertilizer.
Exactly.
And so it could be dry or 28% nitrogen.
So have we increased the fertilizer capacity? You'd put a new building up.
Yeah, our new building at the end of our property is our crop protection building. It's going to house all of our chemistry for spraying chemicals on corn, soybeans, wheat, and this and that.
So chemistry.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put that way, but that's chemicals.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So how many acres roughly do you guys cover? Because it seems like there's a horrendous number of buggies and tanks sitting there that only get used in the spring as far as for the most part.
For the most part, I mean, you'll have some throughout the summer spraying, fungicides and that type of thing, and spraying the double crop beans.
Yeah.
So, but to be honest with you, I don't even know. I've heard that a good year we'll spray 20. When we have two spray applicators
Yeah.
available, we'll spray somewhere right around 25,000 acres. Now,
How far range do you go with those? I mean, I've seen them on the road a good ways from here, but then I don't know if they're coming from someplace else.
yeah,
And there's a certain number of farmers have their own
Yeah,
sprayers.
absolutely.
Some of the bigger guys got their own sprayer.
yeah. So we're seeing that more and more. Your guys are doing more of their own stuff, and so we'll kind of get up close to Worcester. I mean, that's kind of where Smithville and I
Overlap
there in Worcester. We'll get up Ashland, just north of Ashland. That's where the Sullivan branch of Centerra will kind of collide. And, we also do a lot of it's basically like an interstitial. There is where we might cross.
You might be doing something for them.
Yeah.
Because they're busy up there and you're close. And
some of the equipment that we have, I know that I have we spread a little bit more lime than Sullivan normally does. So we'll go up and spread some lime for them. They have high clearance spray rigs, so they'll come down and spray fungicides in late season corn. For me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's just kind of give and take back between the two, the three branches basically that are the closest here.
Exactly.
Because we've got three branches that are within 35 minutes of each other.
So Sullivan, Smithville, and you. Mm-hmm. But then the Ashland store pretty much is a retail.
Yep, that's a country store.
Yeah.
And then we also have one in Worcester, right?
That's right.
On the north side of the fairgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. So those handle the retail part of things. You don't have that much retail stuff
we don't.
going.
We have some of the more convenient items that people are going to stop in and
grab it, need it.
Yeah. But we don't carry a whole lot on the retail side of things. We got Ashland and Worcester that are kind of strategically placed.
Since you don't make feed there, are you able to use that facility for maintenance and stuff? I know one day I came to look you up and you were out there. I thought, what's he doing in the grain elevator? But it looked like that was a place where you could pull stuff in and work on it?
Yep. So actually, the old pit that was inside.
Exactly.
That is now our primary shop that we use.
Would you fill the pit in?
Yeah, we had to put a plate over the pit.
On top of boulder.
Yep, absolutely.
Wrench down in there.
Yeah, and they say that there's still some of the old milling equipment down in the basement.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
I honestly haven't been brave enough to go down there and look.
Take a look. Huh? Goblin will come after you. Yeah. But, when I was farming back in the 70s, that was pretty active landmark feed mill.
Yep.
I got stuff in there and had trucks that were taking stuff out.
In my office, I've got some neat old pictures of the old mill and kind of how it originally was.
Exactly.
So that's kind of neat and enjoy seeing those.
But us old guys can remember taking a pickup truckload of corn down to the mill and having it ground up and standing there by the potbelly stove and eating peanuts while they bagged your feed up. Take it home.
I got a history lesson. We had a little issue with our leg this fall, so we were backed up and down for about a half hour. And Steve James was giving me a history of the mill and how he remembered it as a kid. So.
He would be one that would know because he grew up on a dairy farm and I mean there's stories that the old timers can tell about at both places because we've always had a good farm setup. Most. There was an equity in Worcester. It didn't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, bins and everything are gone. Mm-hmm. And there was even a feed mill in Lakeville at one point. And I think the equity owned it, but eventually they shut it down. I mean, those things just got so outdated. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's anything like that. There would be going south. Mm-hmm. Because we still have some small farms that would operate that way. But if you get I mean, it just doesn't exist anymore.
No.
When you can load up 20-ton loads of ground feed and take it out there to the farm, there's no way you can compete with that.
Yeah, it makes the...
In fact, I think some of those very large companies have their own feed mills.
Oh, yeah.
Like Case.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Horde's got a huge mill over there in the Marion area for all the hogs that they take care of.
Yep, absolutely.
So that makes a difference. So you don't have to worry about that part of it.
Nope, no, that's the good part. Paxton Wood takes care of all that stuff. And
yeah. So do you replace? How much equipment do you have to replace each year? I mean, certainly you want to keep it up to speed. If you're looking at, you've got sprayers and applicators, but you don't plant.
No, we do not plant.
Okay.
We do a lot of custom application of pre-plant anhydrous.
Yeah.
So, we have, there's 3 anhydrous bars that'll be running that'll do pre-plant anhydrous. So we're constantly looking and making sure that those pieces of equipment are, up to snuff and they're ready to go. And
they're all GPS by now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think if you've never been in a tractor that's GPS monitored, it'll jerk the steering wheel right out of your hands to put you online.
Yeah.
You line it up and you think you're okay, and that thing will flip right out of your hands and line that machine right up, and you can just sit back and chew gum.
Absolutely. You're just kind of monitoring. I mean, you got 3 monitors basically in your cab, and you're just checking things and making sure your rates are all right and making sure everything's flowing. And that steering wheel just kind of sits there and tilts back and forth just to keep you right on line.
Yeah.
And so you can get the, but it's
obviously
a great.
Get the end of the row, you got to turn around and go the other direction.
Absolutely. But, for the most part, that GPS is making sure your coverage is on point.
I saw a home video that this father, the video was teaching my son to farm. And this kid is in the cab of a combine. He's 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And he's had enough experience driving machinery that Dad told him, and that little bugger sits in this 16-row combine and goes down through the field, and Dad was coaching him, and it was like very informational for anybody that wasn't familiar with it. The only thing that kid had to do was steer over when a bin was full. He drove it over to the buggy to unload it into the buggy, and then he went down. He had to count how many rows in, so he knew where to go, and down through the field he went, and Dad took the buggy and took it over, which you could see the bins where he was going to unload it. So it's not like Dad was going to be out of sight or anything like that. Yeah. But this kid is in a field that they kind of panned around there. It was probably a 200-acre field. Where's he going to go? It's not like he's going to hit the road or something like that. The outsides was all open, so it was just up and back, finish up the field. 10 years old. Driving a $250,000 combine, Actually, the first time I heard about a kid doing that, he was reported to Family Services because his kid was out there driving this combine and Dad was not there with him. But, growing up on the farm, all of us got to drive the tractor while they were loading hay. All I had to do was steer the thing from one bale to the next, and somebody threw the bale on, so they were right there to jump on tractor when we got to got it done. But that's how we learned.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So I ask about new machinery or replacement. Do you rotate, get new stuff?
Yeah, we have all of our There's
tractors that pull that.
Yes.
Okay.
So we we have all of our equipment on a rotational basis.
Yeah.
So it's not all hitting at once, obviously.
Exactly.
But yeah, we
But
keep,
when it comes to that anhydrous tanks, a lot of guys have their own applicators, smaller operations.
so you'll see some of that. We'll pull tanks
Yeah.
to just supply them when they're they could be doing pre-plant or they could be doing strip till application of anhydrous. So we'll pull tanks to both varieties or ourselves.
Yeah. Do guys still bring in their own buggies to get fertilizer? You'll mix fertilizer for them.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll mix fertilizer. You'll see guys that'll bring their own buggies. We've filled their own, their own trucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
everybody's trying to get a little bit bigger.
However they need to do it. Well, we'll mix it up for you. So.
What I think is funny is seeing the trend of flatbed pickups, because they're coming in, they get a pallet of this or a pallet of that, where we're not throwing bags in the back of the pickup anymore. And even the guys that you have servicing it, you've got some flatbeds right there to deliver.
We don't actually have just a regular pickup truck with the beds.
Yours is about the only one that sits there, or one of the other employees.
Yep. So that's we're moving pallets of items and
exactly.
We're delivering shuttles of chemicals.
Exactly.
And this and that.
So those are reusable shuttles for the most part.
Absolutely.
So they'll bring them. You got to go retrieve them, or somebody brings them back.
Most of the time they're bringing them back because they might have said they only needed 150 gallons, and I need 225 total. So
when I first started farming, a skid loader or skid steer, depending on where you live, they call them different names, but they were so doggone small because they had to fit in the little teeny barns, They didn't even have a cab on them or safety. In fact, the safety of those early ones was really, they were kind of dangerous when you get right down to it. Now, if you're farming, you got to have a skid steer with forks on it,
Oh, yeah.
And we're moving hay with them, the big round bales and all this kind of stuff. Those things, it's just amazing. And a front-wheel drive assist tractor or a four-wheel tractor.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe how much easier it is to farm as an operator.
Yes. The technology has come a long,
my goodness.
long way.
It's wonderful. I guess we've covered, was there something else? Are we expecting any problems with resistant weeds this year? We've got a few of them that have been mare's tail and all that kind of stuff. I'm asking the wrong guy in a sense.
Yeah,
because you're making sure everything's greased up and ready to go.
Yeah, being more on the operations side.
Exactly.
That's probably more of an Eric question.
Yeah,
our agronomist, but
which is good.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about our setup that we have in Loudonville. He kind of handles all the technical questions, and I kind of
Does he work right out of that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he's because there are a couple other gentlemen I see there when I come to see you, and I don't really know them because I'm not really involved. The girl behind the desk, and then a couple other guys standing around.
Oh yeah. So, but
about how many seasonal? Well, obviously within the season you might have a few more employees than you do now.
We'll pick up some part-time in the springtime, but I think we're running right around 12 right now total. We just had a new hire, and so just trying to build that culture down there and keep it as the place.
Got a good crew working for you?
I got a great crew. They're unbelievable. They really have a good way of making my job a lot easier.
Yeah.
So,
well, I know one day when I was there and we were out there, everybody was kind of joking around, and it didn't seem like anybody was really stressed out about anything.
Nope. They they do a good job of keeping each other in line,
and for the most part, they've all got an ag background to begin with.
Yeah, but we're also to the point where we're hiring people with no experience, and that just are looking to kind of get away from the desk and be outside.
Yeah.
That my latest hire, he actually was selling insurance, to be honest with
Get out of here.
Yeah, and he.
Crop insurance?
No, no. But he actually came to me and said, "Hey, I want to get away from, being at the desk, and I want to be outside, and I want to have a better, life."
Do you post prices there? Can guys call in down there and see what you're paying for corn?
Absolutely, we have them. Our daily prices are posted.
Okay.
In the office, right behind our office clerk, Jess Bauer. So.
But a lot of people do that stuff online anymore, too.
Yeah, most people are getting them, emailed to them or, however.
Where's the main price of your group of Smithville?
No, Ashland's are.
Ashland.
Yeah, absolutely. They're handling all the marketing side of things.
Yeah.
So, but
are they buying all the supplies? As far as you don't have to worry about, you just got to order up fertilizer. They're dealing with where.
Yeah, to be honest with you, we have a fertilizer procurement, and I work with him and kind of tell him what I need and go from there.
They're cutting us off.
Yep.
Thanks for great show today.
Absolutely.